Hi everybody, it's Chelsea of TheLitSisters, and I know it has been a really long time since we've made a video. May apparently just wasn't a good month for us. We didn't really see it coming. We had vacation and then weird work things and everything, so I really am sorry about not having any videos up last month. Just means that there's so much more to catch up on this month. So this is my April and May wrap up. The first book that I read in May was I Am Malala by Malala Yousafzai and Christina Lamb. This was really good book, surprisingly. Like, I didn't expect to like this book as much as I did. It was very informative read because not only does she talk about her life in Pakistan, but she talks about like the history of the country, and you learn all sorts of like historical facts about the country and all of this information that I was really unaware of. Like, knew diddly squat about about Pakistan before I read this book, so it was a really good read. I think she's like an amazing person. Like, I could only strive to be as good a person as she is, so I really liked this. And this was actually my TBR jar for April that I drew, which was read a book and a genre that you don't normally read, which is biography, because I never read biography, so I was really glad I read this one. One of the other books I read in April is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. And oh my god, I love this book. Just, it seems to be a theme with really any Rainbow Rowell book, is that I absolutely loved it. I loved this book. I thought it was such a cool way, like it's like the 7th Harry Potter book, but if you didn't have any of the other Harry Potter books, but it's written differently, and I really enjoyed Simon and Baz's relationship, and I loved Penelope. Like, it makes me wish that there were 6 other books, or 7 other books. I guess this would technically be like the 8th book. I don't know, but it's really cool. If you don't know, it's like a magical school book, very similar and in the vein to Harry Potter, but also very different. If you're worried about it just being a copy, it is its own fantasy world, so you don't have to worry about that. And it is sort of based on the book series / fan fiction that was in Rainbow Rowell's other book, Fangirl, although from what I can understand, this is Rainbow Rowell's version of that story, not the book version or the fan fiction that she wrote in Fangirl. But I really liked it. I think it was a really great read. And the next book I read in April was The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. Again, this was a really good book that I really enjoyed reading. I had been recommended this book for forever by my family, but particularly my mom. She read it and she was like, "Why haven't you read this book yet?" And I said, "I don't know." So I finally picked up a copy and read it, and I was not let down. Before I read this book, I had seen like a part of the movie, which I heard is not as good as the book. And I can kind of see where that is true just from the little scene that I saw. But so I had like, I knew the ending, which is probably the biggest letdown. I was spoiled on the ending, which is probably why I didn't pick it up, because if I know a book has a sad ending, I'm really reluctant to pick it up. It's why I still haven't read the Divergent series, because the ending of that series was spoiled to me, and it just, I don't know, if it's really sad, I'm like, I don't want to know if I want to go on this journey. But I'm really glad I went on the journey with The Book Thief. Really liked it. I'd give it 10 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. The last book that I read in April is going to lead into the first 2 books that I read in May. Woo! So the last book I read in April was the 4th book in the Mortal Instruments series, City of Fallen Angels. And then that was the last book that I read. I really liked it. It really got me pumped up to finish the series. So at the beginning of May, I just went right into the 5th book, City of Lost Souls, and then that I couldn't put down. Like, I got to the end of that and was like, no, I need the next book. So I went right into City of Heavenly Fire. I'm just gonna review these 3 books as a whole, since it's a series and it's kind of hard for me to remember exactly where they separated since I read them all straight through. I will say I did enjoy the second half of the series a lot better than the first half of the series. I think the writing was just a whole lot better, and I don't know if that was because she in the middle of that wrote I want to say the Mortal Instruments again, the Infernal Devices, and I loved that trilogy. I loved that better than any of these. I think that the whole trilogy as a whole just works better than this series as a whole. Not that I didn't like this series. I did really like this series. I think I'm gonna do another, I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but I am gonna do, I think, another video sometime soon where I just talk about this whole series and how I felt about it. The reason I'm not taking these books out though is because it was a bitch, like a real bitch, to get these all in here. That's the same of any book that's in a box that you'll see me talk about. It just, I don't know, I went to put my books back in their box sets and they were all mean to me, so they're not coming out for a little bit because I don't want to deal with putting them back in. Next book I read in the month of May is An Abundance of Katherines, because this was on my TBR for April and I needed to get to it. I really liked this book. I'm not surprised, I like John Green's writing a lot. I thought it was a really cute romance. It really did put me in the mood for romance books, I think you'll see, because I've just been on sort of like a romancy book feel. I liked the town that they went to, and I liked his friend and the girl that he meets there. It's just it was a good book, a very John Green book. I mean, I think you can definitely tell when you're reading a John Green book just from like the dialogue and the prose and everything. He just has a very, I think, distinctive style, and that was actually the last book that I needed to read out of this box set, so I'm gonna have to go buy some more John Green books. I think there's like 2 more that he's on. I think they're all like co-author books, but I like his reading. I like his reading, but I like his writing, so I'm gonna find those. The next book that I read, I didn't actually physically read this. I listened to it. Me and my sister went to Nashville in May to go see Pentatonics in concert, which was really awesome, and I really enjoyed it. But on the way there, we listened to the audiobook of Hamilton the Revolution by Lin-Manuel Miranda and Jeremy McCarter. I said MacArthur, I don't know why. And I love the musical Hamilton. I've loved that soundtrack for forever. I finally got my sister to listen to it and she loved it, so we were all about this book when it came out. It's also referred to as the Hamiltome. It is so good. I am gonna go through and read it just physically, just because there's so much stuff in this book as far as just like pictures. The whole play is told lyrically, so if you have all the lyrics to the song, you basically have the whole play, like the whole transcript of the play, and all of the lyrics to Hamilton are in this book. So it's just, it was so good to listen to, just to find out all this information about this play that I really, really like, and I really hope one day to see. I did enter a sweepstakes to win tickets to Hamilton, so hopefully that works out. I don't know if it will. I can only pray, because I really, really like the soundtrack. Like, I found it in December, and I didn't listen to Christmas music in December. I listened to Hamilton, just pretty much non-stop. It's so good. I listen to the soundtrack, get this book, get obsessed with Hamilton, because it's like so good. Lin-Manuel Miranda is a genius, and I love him forever for making Hamilton. The last book that I read in the month of May is Finding Audrey by Sophia Kinsella, and this was actually my TBR jar pick. I did go ahead and draw out of my TBR jar, even though I didn't make a video about it, and the topic that I drew was read a book that you know nothing about. So I picked up this one because my sister just told me it was kind of funny, and that was really the only thing I knew about it. Didn't know anything about the plot, didn't know anything about the author. I've never read a book by Sophia Kinsella before, Sophie Kinsella before, and I really liked it. It's a really interesting read, because my sister told me it was kind of funny. I found it to be kind of sad at points too, because she is dealing with a really kind of debilitating depression in this book, but just the way that she handles life is kind of funny, and just the situations that she finds herself in are kind of funny. And again, it was like a really cute romance, which I think is just putting me in a theme, honestly, for a little bit. But I really enjoyed it. I think it was a really quick read too. I read it in a day. I didn't expect to read it in a day. It was just sort of, it's short, it's like only 200 some pages, and then a lot of it is like transcript. So it's really short, easy read, and I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna have to check out more books by Sophie Kinsella because I really liked this book. So that is all the books that I read in the months of April and May. Playing catch up here. I will have another video out today with my June TBR, and we are gonna have videos up every week starting this week. Me and my sister talked about it. We're gonna be very dedicated to getting videos out every week from now on. It's just May just had weird things happen, so I'm really sorry about that, but we are gonna rededicate ourselves to this channel and to all of you. So thank you for watching, and happy reading.